am a newer pastor. Went into ministry with absolutely no intention or desire of pastoring. Serving as general counsel of the church, though, I ended up being involved in one of our situations. And when it became apparent that a shift had to be made in the middle of our conference year, the bishop came to me and I laughed and say, when the conversation starts with, hear me out, it's not going to be a real good conversation. But at any rate, he asked me to go to the church in crisis. The church had a order from the city of Detroit to correct. It had to do so in a quick order. It also had significant structural issues. Actually, the order to repair was to repair bricks that were falling off the side of the church that had been for some time. And just going in, and I said, okay, Bishop, I know, my legal expertise and my administrative skills, I can handle that. I can go in, I can take care of this, but have my replacement in 6 months. And then as I became in, the people kind of grew on me. And one of the members came up and said, you're not leaving us, are you? And it kind of pulled at my heart. And then God had begun to give vision on what could be. And I'm like, okay. So I agreed to stay. And now 5 years later, I am here. But I wonder, and I've asked myself this question, but for COVID, would I have remained? Because I am, unlike I would say many people, and I kind of feel bad to say, knowing, the negative impact that COVID had. But there were so many alien works of God in the midst of that COVID that just blessed me and our congregation and informed us. The most significant of it was shutting the doors and pushing us outside of the four walls of the church. This congregation was very, very content sitting inside the church. And with COVID came grant dollars, and my exposure to the grant world by immersion came to light. And just being able to go out into the community, having that support, getting the congregation out into the community was I can't even tell you how it excited me. Because one of the things that distressed me as I, got to this church, and anyone that comes, or just about everybody that comes to the church, when they get there, the first thing they say is, do you know how many churches you have to pass to get here? I say, yes, I do. I pass them every week. And that was distressing to me. I mean, within a 2-mile radius, oh my gosh, when I say there's a church on every corner, there's 4 churches on every corner within the east side of Detroit where my church is situated. And to have that many churches sitting in a community that really looks like Little Beirut broke my heart. Because my question is, what is the church doing? All of these churches obviously are coming in, sitting within their 4 walls and leaving. And as I shared with my congregation, I was trying to say, we need to set ourselves apart. All of them are coming in, they're having church on Sunday at 11 o'clock, and they're leaving. And I told my church, I was like, and most of them are doing it better than we are. So how do we set ourselves apart? And why are we still staying at this 11 o'clock hour? And what can we do instead to really bless and embrace the community? And so that's where the vision started coming. And really the long range goal is to try and flip the block on which our church sits, beginning with our own assets and turning our assets into community assets. Because we have a parsonage that's sitting next to us that has been burnt out for over a decade. Just useless. But I'm looking for those grant dollars now that I have been introduced to the grant world to go out and turn that into a community center, a community hub, because that is really what God has called us to do. God didn't call us to come to church once a week and just worship him. When we look at Isaiah 58, that had become our mantra, Isaiah 58, worshiping God through ministry to the community. Because Isaiah 58 pretty much says, you know, y'all up here worrying about worshiping me, but that's not what I called you to do. I called you to go out and look out for the least of these. Called you to work for the widows, the orphans. I called you to be repairers of the streets. And I think that, for me, I say God closed the doors for a reason, and we need to learn that reason. Because if we go back to do the same thing that we've been doing, our future is not going to be very bright.